Dan Marino audibles at the line when he senses yet another blitz. He calls a fly pattern down the sideline, and Mark Duper beats the Steelers safeties. The Dolphins break the game open. Dan Marino made the right choice.
2 minutes left. 30-26 the score. And this, perhaps, the biggest play of the game for both clubs. If Miami gets a first down, they can all but run out the clock. If Denver can stop Miami on 3rd down and 3, they'll get one final chance to go for what they now need, a touchdown to win it. They went for a field goal down by 7.
Well, this is the play that Dan Reeves ended up staking his gamble on, really. He was gambling that his defense could stop Miami, that he would get another shot at a touchdown. If they can't stop them here, then the gamble fails, and he really has put himself in the hole.
O'Brien, the center, trying to get the Mile High Stadium crowd in the game to help out as Marino brings his team out on 3rd and 3. Shift offensively. Now it's only Nathan behind Marino. Under pressure, he gets it to Nathan, but Nathan does not get the first down. Dennis Smith, what a hit. Ken Woodard with an assist.
An all-out blitz coming at Marino. Marino read the blitz, got it to the hot back Nathan, but the defense reacted too quickly. They forced the 4th and long. Shula will go to the kick, and we've got to wonder now if maybe Denver might not try and block the kick. Here's the pass to Nathan. Harden coming in on the blitz. They're expecting them to be able to get away with the first down. But Dennis Smith quickly up, showing great speed for such a big man. He's 6'3", good size. Just leveled Tony Nathan on that play.
Denver spent a timeout to stop the clock with 1:49 left. They have 2 timeouts remaining, Dan Reeves. So he's got adequate time after the punt by Roby, but it figures that unless we have a long punt return, that Denver's going to start a long way from that Miami goal line.
Would not surprise me to see them come after the punt here. Well, they're lined up to return, all spread out.
Kind of a compliment to the Denver defense in a way, Merlin Olsen. Reggie Roby in the first 3 games punted only a total of 6 times. This is his 7th today. The other teams not able to stop the Miami offense. Roby used sparingly. 6 in 3 games, now 7 against Denver this afternoon. Gerald Wilhite back at the 10. That one headed toward the goal line, and it takes a beautiful Miami bounce, and it's down at the 3-yard line. Can't ask for better than that. Roby with a wedge kick inside the 5. He is.
Roby did not come out of college with a reputation as a finesse kicker. Seemed to be kicking it mostly into the end zone, kicking with full power. That's something he's worked hard on, and boy, it paid off here. And now the Broncos, a supreme challenge here. 97 yards away from the Miami end zone, and unless they get it down in there, they're going to walk out of here with an L on their side of the column.
By the way, where is Shamokin?
Where is Shamokin?
I guess you have to have a light to find out. 97 yards away, and now that missed extra point all the more important. Elway from his end zone to Clarence Kay. That's short yardage, and it'll consume time. Jackie Shipp with the tackle.
And I don't understand that play at all. That's not going to get you enough yardage to do you any good. It only eats the clock. John, you got to get the ball deeper than that.
Barking out as the clock running incessantly against the Broncos, taking a lot of time to set up the play. 2nd and 6.
Now he'll go deep.
To Watson. What a catch by Watson as he was being drilled by Glenn Blackwood. Fingertips, 20 yards on the play, first down, and timeout with 1:02 left. 62 seconds remaining.
Hold on tight, let it flow. Feels so right. Here we go. Honda ATV gets ya where you wanna be. Honda ATV gets you where the fun is.
Honda makes a complete line of ATVs for doing all kinds of things, especially having all kinds of fun.
Honda ATV gets you where the fun is.
For over 300 years, they've been coming.
You are a dreamer until your dreams come true.
And while most haven't brought riches, they have brought dreams.
Then you're a leader, and they're all looking up to you.
At the Wall Street Journal, we believe that the most precious resources a country can have are the hopes of its people. The Wall Street Journal, the daily diary of the American dream.
Dan Reeves in his 5th year with the Broncos. His team trying to rally from 4 down. And the first down at the 29, only 1 timeout remaining. 1 minute left in the game as the rifle shot incomplete. Butch Johnson unable to hold it down. It would have been difficult to stay in bounds for him. 56 seconds left.
Johnson with a chance to control that football, but it was not well thrown. He had to make a full 360-degree turn. There's Chuck Studley calling his defenses onto the field. He's been working at simplifying the defenses for this Miami Dolphins defense, trying to get more physical. They'd like to be very physical on the line and get a rush right here on John Elway.
Around that 100-degree heat last week, they shut out Kansas City. 31-0. Elway getting out of trouble again. Anyone open? There's Wilhite, a good catch by Wilhite. He's out to the 37-yard line. That's not enough for a first down, so Well made the tackle. Clock is running. 38, 37, 36.
No huddle. He'll bring him right to the line. They'll try and do it here, but Elway having to call to both sides. The clock ticking down, 29 seconds.
Instead of calling 2 plays in the huddle, he's having to audibilize. Now looking big down the middle, intercepted. Bud Brown, and is it appropriate that he should get the Miami interception? He goes down at the 50-yard line with 13 seconds left. Bud Brown, a relative unknown, another B in that Miami Killer Bee defense. He has been outstanding all day, making tackle after tackle, comes up with the first interception, and that kills the Denver threat, and apparently it'll be Miami that goes home 3-1. Denver stays with 2-2.
Elway perhaps relying too much on that strong arm, trying to gun the ball to Butch Johnson, maybe not wanting to see those hovering defensive backs. But Brown just waited until the ball was thrown, stepped in front of Johnson, and picked it off.
Dan Marino has served Don Shula well again today with 3 touchdown throws, and now just a matter of taking a snap and dropping to his knees. Denver will not use its final timeout, satisfied that this one is over. The final seconds tick away. It's a good one. And the Miami Dolphins have beaten the Denver Broncos 30-26.
One would have to wonder, and I'm sure coaches are always second-guessing themselves. Reeves saying to himself, should I have gone on that 4th down? Should I have tried for that touchdown? Well, there's a man who's got to feel comfortable. He won't have to second-guess himself in the films.
Marino with big plays, a 69-yard touchdown to Moore. He had a 46-yard touchdown throw to Vince Heflin, another of 24 yards to Joe Rose. Elway did not have the touchdown throw, came up with some key pass completions, but it was on the ground with Winder and Lang that the Broncos did their most serious damage.
Well, and if we were to look at that Elway and Marino matchup for the day, indeed it was a Marino day today, but these two are going to be around a long time if they stay healthy and are going to be helping their teams to victories for many years to come.
Now the Dolphins with 3 straight wins after the opening week loss at Houston, 30-26. They go back to the heat of Miami from the snow of Denver, but it wasn't so cold for Marino and that Dolphin offense. The final 30-26. We'll be back with all the scores of this day after these messages from your local station.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
If you're looking for mystery and suspense, you're about to get an eyeful. All new versions of Alfred Hitchcock Presents premieres tonight.
Here's you. Here's your competition. One of you will call AT&T small business experts. One of you won't. One of you will find out how to use long distance.
Distance to cover your customer base.
To beat your competition. So who's going to call? You or the other guy? AT&T long distance services. Talk with us. AT&T, the right choice.
This imported beer is all that you'd expect. It has a rich, full-bodied, imported flavor, as you'd expect. And a deep...
The Dolphins provide a good show with the Broncos at Mile High Stadium. Here's Dick Enberg's call of a decisive
Complete
play.
To Heflin. He breaks free at the 30. He's at the 20. Vince Heflin will score his first NFL touchdown, and Miami
Leads at that point, 27-23. They go on to win it 30-26. And this is the Budweiser NFL Report, brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Hi, everybody. Bob Costas back in New York, along with Ahmad Rashad and Pete Axthelm. Now, except out on the West Coast, where you will see tonight's full NBC schedule as scheduled, we're making a little bit of revision for other parts of the country. At 7:30 Eastern Time, you'll see Punky Brewster. No silver spoons tonight. Then commencing at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, the rest of the NBC evening schedule will run as listed in your TV guides. Okay, on the scoreboard, Miami over Denver. Most of you saw all of this game, and the rest of you caught the end of it, so you know all about it. The Dolphins win it 30-26. Marino throws for 390 yards and 3 touchdowns, although the Broncos did sack him twice. Cleveland beat San Diego today 21-7. In the process, San Diego lost quarterback Dan Fouts with an injured right knee. Arthroscopic surgery is set for tonight. Only then will they know how long they'll be without him. The Jets beat the Colts today at the Meadowlands by a score of 25-20. Coming in, the Jet defense, featuring such stalwarts as Mark Gastineau and Joe Klecko there, had not allowed a touchdown in 10 quarters. They had a 12-0 lead after this play. Little bit of razzle-dazzle. Freeman McNeil pitches back to Ken O'Brien. The Colt defense is suckered in, and Kurt Sohn is wide open for the touchdown. However, the Colts came back and made a good game of it. Mike Pagel will throw 72 yards to Raymond Butler for this touchdown. And at that point, the Jet lead was cut to 15-10. Butler in between a couple of defenders, and he is off to the races. After the Jets got a field goal to up the lead to 18-10, the Colts came back again. Pat Beach will be on the receiving end of this pass from Pagel. He'll spin away from a couple of tacklers. A painful landing on his head in the end zone. He was okay. The Colts were within 1. However, after an O'Brien scramble brought the Jets down to the 1, Tony Page took it in from there, gave them some breathing room, and eventually they win it 25-20. The Colts are 1-3. The Jets are 3-1. The Rams go to 4-0. The Rams and Bears are the only unbeaten teams in the NFL. The Falcons are 0-4. 17-6 the final today in Anaheim. Eric Dickerson had 26 yards in the first half, sat out the second half with a slight hamstring pull. The Saints pull off one of the upsets of the year for sure. 20-17 at Candlestick Park. 62nd birthday for their coach Bum Phillips, and a happy occasion. This fourth quarter touchdown was the deciding play. Dave Wilson hits Eugene Goodlow. It covers 43 yards. They really did a number on San Francisco. They held Montana to 12 completions, 122 yards, intercepted him twice, and sacked him 6 times. So now both the Saints and the 49ers are 2-2. We'll check the scores from earlier today around the NFL and also update you on the pennant races when the Budweiser NFL Report continues. Today in Foxborough, the Raiders ended their 2-game losing streak. They beat the Patriots 35-20. At one time, the Patriots led by a score of 20-14, and that could not have made Al Davis very happy. There you see Davis, the managing general partner of the Raiders, looking on from the press box. Tony Eason had a big play early in the game from out of the shotgun. This is in the first quarter. He steps up out of the pocket and finds Irving Fryer, the second-year wide receiver. Fryer completes a 40-yard touchdown and then receives congratulations from a number of the fans. But a bit later on, Mark Wilson twists an ankle. He was playing for the injured Jim Plunkett, who has a dislocated shoulder. Wilson departed and was replaced by Rusty Hilger, the rookie quarterback out of Oklahoma State. The Raider defense did a job today. Lester Hayes scored on an interception, and they got another TD on this fumble recovery. Craig James coughed it up, and Lyle Alzado covered it in the end zone. The Raiders win it 35-20. The Bears beat the Redskins by a score of 45-10 to go 4-0, and the struggling Redskins are 1-3. Washington had a 10-0 lead. It was all Chicago after that. Willie Gault, a 99-yard kick return for a touchdown. Jim McMahon, 3 touchdown passes. The Seahawks committed 7 turnovers and lost at Kansas City 28-7. Deron Cherry of the Chiefs intercepted 4 passes. It ties the NFL single-game record. The Cowboys tied the 1-game record for sacks. They got Warren Moon 12 times today and beat Houston 17-10 at the Astrodome. They scored the winning touchdown with less than 2 minutes to play. Tony Dorsett had 159 yards rushing, and when Dorsett goes over 100 yards, the Cowboys are 40-2. The rest of the scoreboard when we come back. Today, the Giants beat the Eagles in overtime, 16-10. A look at the decisive play. Ron Jaworski, who replaced Randall Cunningham after Cunningham injured an ankle, will try and hit Mike Quick. The pass will be deflected into the hands of Giant defensive back Elvis Patterson. 30 yards later, he's in the end zone. That means sudden death for the Eagles, a 16-10 win for the Giants, who are now 3-1. The Packers played in St. Louis. The Cardinals beat them 43-28. Neil Lomax threw 3 touchdown passes, and the Cards are 3-1. The Lions are 3-1 under Darryl Rogers. The Bucks still winless under Lehman Bennett. 30-9 was the final score in that game. With Bud Grant back at the helm, the Vikings are 3-1. 3 TDs for Tommy Kramer as they beat Buffalo 27-20. The Bills are 0-4. Quickly in the pennant races, the Mets got a 2-run homer in the 10th from Gary Carter and beat the Pirates 9-7. Montreal beat the Cardinals in Montreal 7-5. The Mets are within 3 of the Cardinals. They begin a 3-game series in St. Louis on Tuesday. Cincinnati beat Houston by a score of 5-0, but the Dodgers also won 7-2. LA's magic number there is 3. Minnesota beat Kansas City 6-3. Well, Costas, thanks for being with us. See you next week.
This has been a presentation of